Pixlr or Pixlr. But anyway, this is a program that will be replacing Photoshop for a little while. And here is how you use it. The only thing I really want you to use it for is cropping images. So how do you crop an image? I'll show you. So let's go to open image. I have two images that I have saved. It really doesn't matter which one I pick, but I have an image of a dog with a background and an image of a dog without a background. So I'm going to show you the dog without a background first. So the great thing about this is that the background is white. So to get rid of this background and just to have the dog itself is going to be pretty easy. And the great thing I like about Pixlr is that this interface is a lot like Photoshop. So instead of the magic wand, we have the wand select. Instead of the quick select, we have the cutout and mask, which is really similar. In some ways, I think this might even be cooler than Photoshop's, because of all the different ways you can use that one tool instead of having different tools. But anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the cutout and mask tool. I'm going to select that, and I'm going to look at these options up here, and I'm just going to select the AI auto. And what that is doing is basically saying, hey, I'm going to take a guess at what you want to mask or get rid of. And they're going to try to delete that for me, which in this case, because the background is white, I'm sure that they're going to try to get rid of all of the white pixels that are connected to each other. So the only thing I'm really worried about not deleting is this part of the white and maybe that part of the white right over here, because this part has a gray or a shadow between here and there. Same here. So there's a shadow between here and there, so that white, we may have to manually take that out. And that's just my guess. That might not be the case. It might be so smart that it gets rid of all of it. But we're going to find out. Oh, it says errors. Something went wrong. So don't rely on that. Now, the other way to do it is to get the wand select, and I can just click on my white background, and everything that you see, these little marching ants, I'll zoom in, these are actually my selection. So basically everything that is white is selected except for that spot over here, which is fine. I can add that to my selection by clicking on it, or no, not just clicking on it. What I did was I deselected everything else. But if I, let's say, click on my white background, press the shift key, then I select that. Now that added to my selection. Same here, I'm holding down shift, that'll add this to my selection. Alright, so now I can just press delete, and all that is gone. All the white. One thing to note is that I added a feather on here before I started recording, so that 5% feather is going to make the edge of this dog softer. So otherwise, it'll look more crispy. And if that's the case, just add a little feather to soften it up. And what I can do is I'm just going to go back. I'm going to get rid of my feather, and then I'm going to press delete and deselect, Control D or Command D. It's not that big a difference, but there is a difference. Alright, so let me move some things around. Control D, I mistakenly grabbed that. I'm holding down the space bar right now to move this. Excuse me. Alright, so now I'm going to get those scissors or the cutout and mask tool, and I'm going to make sure shape mask is selected. Then I'm going to select remove from mask. Now I can go here and oh, sorry, make sure draw mask is there. There we go. Now I can select what I want to get rid of. manually. So this is going to be hard to see, and I might think I'm doing a good job, but just because I'm moving this around and stuff is disappearing doesn't mean that I'm getting rid of everything. All right, so let me show you what I mean. All right, right now this is my background layer. Just like in Photoshop, this background layer is automatically locked. So I'm just going to add a new layer, make sure it's empty, and I'm going to unlock this layer by just double clicking, or I can right click and unlock. Now my background layer is just a regular layer. Now I can just move this new layer under it. Now that I have this new layer under here, I can grab a color or grab my paint bucket, and I'm going to select this color. Why this color? Mainly because it's not white or black, and it is a pinkish color that will allow me to see what I'm getting rid of clearly. So now I'm just going to select any spot on my new layer, and this is what I get. Now I can see clearly how what I thought I was cleaning up wasn't actually getting as clean as I thought. So now I'm going to go back to that tool. Well, first I'm going to go back to my background layer where the dog is, and I'm going to grab my scissor tool or my cutout and mask tool. Make sure I have the draw mask selected, make sure I have the remove mask selected, and I'm just going to go in and clean this up. So now I can see it better, and I can take my time and get all the minor details. So if I see any white on the edge, I will get rid of it. So this isn't like a quick fix. In Photoshop, it's not a quick fix either. It just sometimes can be quicker than this because it was, made for, well, it's just a little bit, it's not a free program. So, with free, sometimes things are, a little bit lower quality, but for what it is, this is a great program. So I'm not knocking Pixlr, because Pixlr could potentially save your life if you are in need of doing some editing and you don't have Photoshop capabilities, or you don't have access to Photoshop, put it like that. Alright, so it's looking good so far. Not finished, I'm far from finished, but you get the idea. Now what I would do is, let's say I did finish this and this was finished, I would go ahead and delete this layer. Then I would just go to File and Save, and I will save this as a PNG. If I save it as a JPEG, it's going to give me the white background again. I don't want that. I just got rid of the white background. Why would I do JPEG? Make sure it's a PNG. That way you can bring that image into Canva or whatever other program that we're using and use this image without the background. Alright, and then you just press download and it will download directly to your computer. Now let's look at the other dog. Alright, so this same thing. So let's look at this. I would go about this a few ways. There's a few ways you can go about this. You can select it using the magic wand. Not the magic wand, the lasso tool. So if I went to cut out, or this pair of scissors, and I use the lasso mask, what I would do is just move this around the dog, and I'm just going to be sloppy with it right now, and then I can mask out the dog, or if I change my mode, I can only mask in the dog and remove the background like that. So now at this point I can get that same tool that I had before, draw mask, and then remove from mask. And remember, all that comes with the scissors. And I'm just going to make my brush a little bit larger by clicking right here, changing the size of my brush. And I'm just going to delete part of the background this way. And notice that this brush has somewhat like a feather on it. If I wanted to change the hardness of the brush, this is the effect that it would get, which is not appealing. And it does not show that that the dog has like fur. So make sure that you keep, if you're dealing with fur, make sure you keep a soft brush and not a hard brush. So we're gonna bring the softness up, and what I like to do is bring the softness close to 50%, usually when I'm in Photoshop, because it gives you the best of both worlds. Okay, and I might bring that size down some. And always zoom in, despite what I just did. That's why I was messing up, because I did not zoom in. Alright, and that's it. To save it, you just follow the same guidelines as before, and go for it, you guys. Looking forward to seeing what you do. Have a great day.